trying to protect your soul. We are heroes tonight. We will fly above the sky. We are heroes tonight. Yeah. We are heroes tonight. We will fly above the sky. We are heroes tonight. Feel like a dynamite, ready to explode right up in the sky. I need you to listen, I need you to hear, and don't show any fear. I've been flying from town to town, from London to Taiwan. I've been all around the globe trying to protect your soul. We are heroes tonight. We will fly above the sky. We are heroes tonight. Yeah. We are heroes tonight. We will fly above the sky. We are heroes tonight. I've been flying from town to town, from London to Taiwan. I've been all around the globe trying to protect your soul.
I'm here only because your stare won't ever let me go. I'm here only because I'm aware with you is better than all alone. Oh, 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 say what you're dying to say. No, oh, tonight we're stars but we'll fade away. Go on and light me up, oh, go on and light me up while we're golden.
Hello everybody and welcome into the Asphalt Outlaws Racing Truck Series live from the high banks, one of the fastest mile and a halves and all of stock car racing, Atlanta Motor Speedway. I want to thank everybody for tuning in. You're watching Austin Green on Ghost Racing Network. Drivers getting down trackside just got on the grid. They're getting ready to roll. So with that knowledge, let's get right into it with your starting grid here on the night. The man on pole is going to be Braden Avila. No surprise there. A couple good runs the last few weeks. Looking to see if he can capture that first win tonight. Puts down a 30.598. Jay Stinson will roll off second for Venom Racing. It's going to be Eric Hegdahl back in third, David Traylor fourth, Joe Yakes, William George making up row number 3, Clinton Woodby and Colton Hardy in row number 4. Keith Prince starts ninth. To his outside, it's going to be Michael Miller in 10th. Jesse Calloway starts back in 11th, and it's Roger Strickland rounding out your top 12. Michael Newman rolls off 13th tonight. Jesse Wise in 14th. Row number 8 is going to be made up of Mark Beverly and Evan Schilling. Kevin Winker starts 17th. Haas Beverly back in 18th. It's going to be Brody Benty in 19th. Jeremy Tolley rounding out your top 20. Nicholas Lawrence 21st. Dennis Steele 22nd. Will Rainwell in 23rd. Back to 24th. Excuse me, there we went. Just a little bit too far. Jonathan Herbert. Andrew Hansley 25th. Sammy Davis 26th. Lance Thompson 27th. TJ Allin in 28th. Isaac Smallwood 29th. Robert Dudley rounding out your top 30. John Shilino 31st. Dylan Paws 32nd. Tyler Beverly and Thomas Ciso, one of the newer drivers in the field tonight, making up that 33rd, 34th spot. And then Randy Gosey rounding out your field here on the night. Taking a look at race info, it is the Sonic Graphics Design 175. Not sure what happened with our code there with the 2, but nonetheless, 117 laps the distance here tonight. As always, same fuel mileage, everybody sitting at 95%, 5 sets of tires, including when you start on one fast pair of fixed setups. We do have that stage break on lap 55, and then 3 green-white checkers if we were to need them. Track blank here at Atlanta, 1.5 miles. Starting track temp going to be 85 degrees. All right, here we go. Going to be rolling up into the restart zone for the first time tonight. Pace car pulls off. Green flag is in the air. We're racing at the Peach State. First lap in the books, gonna go to Braden Avila as he blinks out just a little bit. Eric Hegdahl, though, hot on his back bumper and looking to make a move. Nothing doing, and 3 wide already out back. A couple guys trying to get a run, trying to make something happen. Nothing doing just yet, but everybody's going to continue to sort this out for the next couple laps. And as you go further towards the back, they're all starting to single file out more and more. Dennis Steele back in 20th, up 2 already from where he started. Jonathan Herbert as well, and probably catching your eye a little bit early here is one of the good-looking paint schemes that we got in the field here tonight, and that is Brody Benty rocking a scheme here tonight. A little bit of a special scheme, supporting one of his favorite Twitch streamers tonight. I believe it goes by BK, but her name is Berlin K. Make sure you go check her out on Twitch. Again, Brody showing some support tonight. He's got the good-looking scheme, and he'll be looking to see if he can get it in victory lane, the 63 machine. He's been strong here, again, throughout most of the season up to this point. Not that many races in the books, but for what he's been able to do, it's been a good go for that 63 machine, and tonight no different. The big thing, though, is going to be all about who can save tires and who can save tires the best. Right now, your front 4 are all doing it in pretty much equal distance as they just continue to ride in that draft. And last week when we heard Atlanta, we were expecting to come to the newer Atlanta, the one that they refer to as Hot Atlanta. Races like a super speedway, but instead we got Legacy Atlanta, and I mean, it's just as good, right? You know it's going to be a tire wear race. You're still going to see those high speeds, 2-3 wide racing, as John Shilino maybe missed the start or some sort of an issue here. He's going to go a lap down here early, 3 wide on the outside. And so the 33, before we even get 5 laps in, is going to unfortunately fall a lap down. Braden Avila now has some pressure from behind and on his inside. The 11 of Eric Hegdahl, Daytona winner, looking to see if he can make a move. Got some help here, at least an arrow push from Joe Yakes. Not sure if that'll be enough, though. As these guys all sorted out back here, we still have a hornet's nest of a mess. 2-3 wide now to the inside yet again. I mean, nobody's able to get sorted out. Who wants to run where? At least not yet. Dennis Steele in the 28 machine. You see Brody Benty. He is still in this mix in the 63 machine. And on the inside there, you got the 8 of Nicholas Lawrence, Jesse Calloway, and you got one on the apron there. That was the 17. I believe that was Will Rainwell. Yeah, it was. And so again, another driver. You got it. I'll tell you what this might have been. This might have been some penalties from last week. These guys may have had to serve them. Yeah, because I remember John Shilino and Will Rainwell getting into a couple incidents of argy-bargy last week at Rockingham, and so I think maybe they got a drive-through here early on in this race that they had to serve. and they'll have a chance as long as they can only stay one lap down to get that lap back when we get to that first and only caution break at lap 55. Again, if we get a wreck before then, of course, that could change it. But looking at strategy, with 95% fuel in these trucks, at a track like Atlanta, it's going to be close. But I don't think you can quite make it the full 55 on a single tank of fuel. I think you'll have to come in sometime before then. Do want to give a quick shout out to everybody that's tuning in here to watch tonight. Berlin K, there you go. The Twitch streamer you saw on the truck right now for Brody Benty. I was taking a look. I think she was playing a little Warzone earlier. Make sure you guys go check her out. Certainly looks like a pretty good streamer, and good to see you in the chat. Hope you're having a good Friday night, as well as Sonic Graphic Design, one of the sponsors of the series and sponsor of tonight's race. Good to see you in here, K-Dub and Michael Newman as well, who we actually have in the race, and got a driver cam for him that we'll show in just a little bit. So back here as we go back, Evan Schilling in the 18. Not the week he necessarily wanted last week, but right now, going pretty good. Mark Beverly on the inside. That's another good-looking scheme tonight. Different spots than what we normally do see on that 13 truck. And he's working to the inside right now at David Traylor. In fact, good time to hop on board with Traylor. Take a look at what the speeds are that these guys are running here tonight. And again, tires fall off in a hurry here. So I could probably bet you that Traylor's already a couple tenths, if not more than that, off his regular lap times. And that's just what it's going to be. And that's just what you get here at a track like Old Atlanta. But taking a look, there is David Traylor. He's got the cockpit view, and right now as he's running that outside, that is the faster way around. But again, you're going to wear your tires out a little bit more. He has been on the podium the last couple weeks, looking to extend that top 5 streak here tonight. Still got a ways to go, though, as he sits in 13th and down 9 from where he started. But I'm telling you, seeing David drop 9 like that, that's usually a sign that he is maybe saving a little bit of tire. I think that's exactly what he's doing right now, and I think we'll see him to the front before this thing's all said and done. Going up a couple spots just in front of him, here's a look at Jesse Wise in the 69 truck. One of the Toyotas in the field. He is up 9 from where he started, or excuse me, up 5 from where he started in 9th. A driver out of North Carolina. Another one looking for his first win on the season, but you know, it's kind of one of those things that everybody has to kind of knock out as you get through the first portions of the season. I mean, last week at Rockingham, we're not going to shy away from the fact it was a mess. We had a ton of cautions, not the way these guys wanted it to go, not the way the league owners wanted it to go. But everybody's just trying to get in that groove. There's a lot of talent in this series and in this field that we got here for the 2024 season, and everybody's just got to remember to calm down a little bit. And so far this week, I mean, what a night and day difference right off the get-go. Everybody looking nice and smooth. We have not had any incidents up to this point, no off tracks. It's been all smooth sailing and great racing so far. Going back a little bit as we take a look from some of the fan cams, Clinton Woodby now has taken over the lead. William George second, Jay Stinson third, as it's Braden Avila, who after having that clean air since just about the start of this race, qualified on pole, has fallen back to fourth, puts him down 3 in total from where he started. But still a long ways to go. Now, we did bring up the weather in your race info, but in case you missed it, go ahead and pop it up again here one more time and take a look. Again, clear skies, calm winds, and a very, very cool track temp. For a track like Atlanta, that's going to help these trucks be a little bit grippier than they normally would be if we had a really hot track temp. But you're still going to have to make sure that when you make those pit stops, you're easy getting on the pits. It's not an easy access road here. You make a mistake, could put yourself a lap down and take you out of contention early. Back further in the field here, Brody Benty still sitting right around the top 15. Hasn't quite broken into it just yet. He's in that 18th spot, up 1 position from where he started. Haas Beverly back in 22nd. Sammy Davis in 20th. And Haas Beverly's actually moved up to 19th. And so Sammy Davis, I feel like we've seen, we got one on the wall back here. That's the 51 of TJ Elaine. He had a little bit of an eventful week last night, or excuse me, not last night, last week rather. Studio 51 on TikTok. There you go. Go check him out. But here he is tonight, already up 4 from where he started. And it seems like most of the field has been going in the right direction, except for some of the guys maybe going in the wrong direction. David Traylor now down 10 from where he started. He's going to need a break here, and he's going to need it soon. And, you know, when we talk about the stage break and guys not going to be able to quite make it that full 55 laps in terms of distance before you have to pit, it does open the door to try to maybe undercut the strategy, go in as soon as this fuel window opens, or maybe even try to stretch it out a little bit. But right now, that's not what these guys are focused on. If you're Clinton Woodby, you're trying to extend that gap. If you're Joe Yates, you want that clean air, and you're going to be going as hard as you can for it. And then further back here, the mess continues, but difference is it's finally starting to single file out. Again, as each lap goes by, the speeds are going to slow down. Making a move is going to be harder and harder to do. You got to set yourself up nicely, because if you don't, It's going to be hard to make that move. Taking a look at some of the other driver cams we have here tonight. And you got to give a shout out to the sponsor more than once on the race, and here you go. You like what you see? That's Sonic Graphic Design on the hood and makes that scheme as well for John Shilino. Make sure you go check them out. Make a lot of good schemes, and in fact, they probably make up, if I had to guess, maybe almost a quarter of the field schemes that we see over here in the Asphalt Outlaw Racing Truck Series. So the driver out of Hamburg, New York, again, went a lap down early. I think there may have been a penalty involved. We got some smoke. Can Shilino miss it? He does. That's a 25. That's a Vila. Oh, no. What happened here to your pole sitter? Braden Avila has came to a halt on the inside wall. Caution is out. You got to wonder if that is for Braden Avila. Oh, no, it's not. We got more trouble up here. Big trouble. William George, Dennis Steele. TJ Elaine is going to have to tow it and take that one fast pair on the night. So first caution comes out with just under 20 laps complete. This is going to draw probably everybody down the pits, but what happens here? Saw the first incident there involving Braden Avila. So that's what we're going to check out first. Then we'll look for the second incident. Actually, looks like TJ Lane gets involved with both of these incidents, I think. Here we go. Is that? No, I take that back. That might have been, I wonder if that was that Dennis Steele? It was not either, so I'm not sure who this was. We know that we saw Braden Avila in it, so I guess we'll just go to him first. But who did he make contact with? I thought for a second it was TJ Lane. No, it's William George. Take that back. One of the other drivers running the TikTok racing scheme. And so here you go. We're going to go to the chopper view for this one. And as they come out of the corner here, you see William George running the middle. Avila starting to sliding up more. And, you know, I think maybe he was trying to slide in line or was trying to get alongside the quarter panel for a side draft. But truck maybe getting a little too tight on him. He gets into the left rear of William George as they come off the corner. That's going to send George for a spin. George initially tries to save it right there. As you see Braden Avila here, just has it locked up, trying to minimize the damage. He knows he's going to hit the inside wall. And yeah, he gets a pretty good little shot there. I don't think it's necessarily a race ender. And then George is trying everything to save it. Fortunately gets plowed into hard in the back by David Traylor. Then comes Colton Hardy with nowhere to go. And now they're just all going to start piling in. You saw the 28 of Dennis Steele. And then TJ Lane roll in there as well. Let's take a look at this from the TV cam. So here you go. So once he turns him here, George does a phenomenal job at saving this initially. And then I think what you have here is we'll keep an eye, but some of these guys are thinking that he's maybe coming back up. Yeah, David Traylor is thinking, oh, he's coming back up the track, which he starts to do right here. And then just kind of gets right in to the racing line of David Traylor, who has nowhere to go. Same thing for Colton Hardy. And here comes a cavalry piling in. TJ Lane goes for a spin. Oh, it's a big hit into the outside safer barrier for TJ. That would explain where he got majority of his damage from. So look from TV1. Before we do that, though, actually, we're going to go to the cockpit view here for William George, show you what this whole thing kind of looked at from a couple of the onboard cameras. So the first incident here that collects Braden Avila, it's just hard racing between a couple of guys. Again, these things start to get really tight as you get into the middle and late portions of the run. That's exactly what I got to believe happened there. And then from the gearbox cam, as he slides up here trying to get back in the throttle, there comes David Traylor with just nowhere to go. And then as he gets turned around, he's going to get clobbered a couple more times. So immediately slides back down the track. Final view from TV1. And Colton Hardy had a good race a couple of weeks ago. Been a rough endeavor the last few weeks after that, but the speed's there. And again, just these races, you know, I know a lot of people try to restrict it to super speedways, but you got to have a little bit of that luck factor, especially for circumstances like this. Some of these guys got lucky in making it through this. Sammy Davis did not. Didn't even see him piling initially. Here's the hit for TJ Lane. So wrapping up your first caution of the night and taking a look here. In fact, I know we don't have it live, but I can tell you that the field did, I believe, decide to pit here. I mean, I don't see why you wouldn't. So it wouldn't make too much sense. And so we'll see if we get the one to go signal this time. And it looks like, yeah, it looks like you're going to have just about, I think, the entire field pretty much here decide to bring it down to the pits, 4 tires and fuel. I mean, you kind of have to, right? Because now this should get you to that stage break. At least I would believe so. And so by doing that, now it's just going to be a race of, well, who can save their tires the best here? We're probably about these next, looks like it's going to be about 33, 34 laps to go when we drop the green right here. And up front, you got Joe Yakes, followed by Eric Hegdahl. Michael Newman back in third. Jay Stinson on the outside in 4th of row 2. Mark Beverly, Kevin Winker making up row 3. We haven't had a chance to talk about Winker yet tonight, and you know, part of me almost feels like I don't want to, because I feel like maybe we gave him the jinx last week, but what a race he was putting together. Got turned, him and Mark Beverly tangled, the 2 trucks running side by side. No hard feelings, just a little bit of a mistake by Mark, and unfortunately, boy, it cost Kevin Winker in a big way. Couldn't get the job done, couldn't get back up there, but on the flip side, how about the job that Mark Beverly did to come back from that? Got an EOL for it, accepted full responsibility, came all the way from the back in a race that track position seemed almost impossible to get with the amount of wrecks we had, and got his first win of the season. And that is one of the Asphalt Outlaw Racing drivers' teammates, and then of course series owners. So good to see him get that first win, get it out of the way early on in the season. And here we go, green flag back in the air, 22 laps complete at Atlanta. It's going to be a pretty good start here for Joe Yakes this time. First time in the lead, first time he's got clean air. We'll see what he can make of it. Further back, Kevin Winker on the outside. A couple guys try to make a move and duck low. The 77 of Michael Miller. What can he make work here? Well, Winker got a big run off the corner right there. He was able to get clear, and by plenty. Michael Miller has to drop in line, so they're able to get it single file out pretty quickly up front, at least on this first lap. You see the 5 of Isaac Smallwood. He wants a piece of Miller. He's looking to see if he can get to the inside here down the front stretch. And notice the tribal here. It's not sure how they call it. It's not really a D-shaped tribal, but it is still a tribal. You see how you got to kind of keep that wheel turned down. You want to be careful if you get to the outside of somebody going into the tribal. It's very easy to shoot up into that outside wall. Saw some contact out back as we had a couple trucks getting out of shape, and everybody saves it. And by the way, this is one of the bumpiest tracks we're going to head to on the circuit. Rockingham may be the only one that's a little bit worse, but it's hard to call. In fact, let's go on board here. A couple different views here if we can go to the gear. Oh, David Trailer trouble. Trouble back here. What in the world has happened here?
Caution is out. Caution is out.
And looking for it. There you go. Tyler Beverly, Evan Schilling get in to the outside wall. And this one looks like it collects a couple more. There's the 5 of Isaac Smallwood. It looked initially like David Trailer may have been involved in this as well, but I think he was able to continue on. Yeah, he was. Just got to think maybe he just shot through the grass to miss it. So let's go see what happens here. It starts this caution, ultimately brings us back under caution only a couple laps after we just went back green. In fact, I don't even know if the leader had crossed the start-finish line yet. But here you go. That's the 5 Isaac Smallwood. I was trying to see that view, what gets him into the outside wall here. So we're going to go to the chopper view. So as they're working their way through 3 and 4, the 5, oh, he gets loose, tries to catch it, and yeah, oh man, that's unfortunate right there. Nothing that, again, Keith Prince can do. Watch what happens. We're going to go to the cockpit view again. Tires still getting up to temps. It's a bumpy track, and these trucks are loose here on cold tires, so I think the back end's going to start to slip. He's got to catch it, and there's the back end, catches it, but it takes him up the track, and I think he's going to save it, but unfortunately, when you're running this close, Keith Prince just didn't have enough time to try to get the truck wheeled up and stay off of him, and we'll illustrate that here through the gearbox view. So watch the slip. There it is. And then you see Keith Prince right here. Just too big of a run. He's trying to duck low, maybe miss him, can't do it. That's going to get the 5 up into that outside wall, and then now that he gets up into it, bouncing off. But actually, no, it looks like he keeps up there initially. Yeah, he does. So actually, I think Smallwood does a good job of not coming down and taking anybody else out. And it's going to be contact here between the 18 and the 54. Trailer and Schilling. You see David Trailer gets into the back of Evan Schilling. That's what sends him up into that outside wall. That's a pretty brunt hit as well. And then when he comes back down, he does get into Isaac Smallwood. At this point, coming back down the track, Tyler Beverly nowhere to go. He plows in. And then a couple trucks somehow dance through all of it. Don't make any contact. Take a look at this here from TV number 1. Again, it was a good save initially, and you know, I got to be honest here. Even if Keith Prince doesn't hit him, it's still going to be close just because he's running out of room here. It's going to be a phenomenal save, but it's just not very forgiving here at Atlanta with the bumps. Once you slip up, you're going all the way up the track. So that's not much Isaac Smallwood can do. He'll get a feel for it, maybe try to take it a little bit easier, but it's one of those things where the truck feels like it's on the ground, nice and stable, and next thing you know, you got the back end slipping out, and then here's Tyler Beverly plowing in with nowhere to go. You saw Evan Schilling. That has a big, big impact, and this is an even bigger hit. So I think that'll definitely be a fast pair for Beverly. Actually, probably all 3 of those trucks, Beverly, Schilling, and of course, the 5 machine of Isaac Smallwood. Here's a cockpit view. Tyler Beverly as he sees a wreck and he's letting off, trying, hoping that the seas are going to part. Fortunately for him, they just don't in this case. And then we're going to have a couple guys, like I said, just barely missed this. How about the 16 of Colton Hardy, the 88 as well of Jonathan Herbert, the 52. I mean, I don't know how some of them sneak through. It's such a hard decision as the driver to make up your mind on, do you want to check up? Do you want to stay in the throttle? What's going to work out best? And in this case, no matter what Tyler Beverly was going to try there, I don't think it was going to work out. He had committed to a lane, and at that time, the damage was done. So I don't think you're really going to see any pit stops from the guys that pit under that last one. The only guys I think you'll have coming in here are the guys that have damage, and it looks like for the most part, yeah, that's it. Maybe a couple strategy takers tried some fuel. I don't think you take that second set of tires. Just don't think it was worth it. But about what Eric Hegdahl's got going on here early tonight. He's got the lead back. Joe Yates second, Jay Stinson third. Mark Beverly back in fourth, Kevin Winker in fifth, Michael Newman in sixth. Michael Miller back in seventh, Keith Prince eighth, Brody Benty in ninth. 63 machine, he's got it in the top 10 for the first time tonight. And ironic, because he's up 10 as well. But going back, one of the things we haven't got to do yet is take a look at a couple of the other driver cams that we have tonight. One of them being Michael Newman, who I think he was saying he had a slinky on his arm. And so you got to wonder what exactly happened. But if he does, I'm not sure if that was what he was talking about or what the deal was. The point is, he's running pretty good right now. As you see right now, he's sitting in that fifth spot, looking for a little bit more here. Again, we still got a long ways to go. Haven't even made it to that stage break yet. It's going to come at lap 55, the start of, I believe. So what can the driver here out of Wisconsin make happen? The Green Bay Packers on, rooting them on. Took a look at John Shalino, David Trailer, and we had a couple other driver cams, but it looks like a couple people dipped out here early. Race maybe not going quite the way they wanted to. We still got to talk about points and schedule for the rest of the way. But right now, we're going to keep it all live here. As up front, we get ready for the green flag. The lights did go off on the pace car. So again, we are going green this time. 28 laps completed. It'll be 29 when they cross the line. So you're looking at about 25, 26 laps or so until we get that stage caution, if we can stay green. Again, everybody's plenty good to go on fuel, and tire-wise, you're going to be fine for these next 26 laps. So now it's all about how can you set yourself up for track position, and what can you get here the rest of the way. Pace car makes a left turn for the second time here tonight, and he will lead him back into the Geico restart zone. The Daytona winner, that is Eric Hegdahl, back through the gears. It's a good jump. Green flag back in the air. He'll get well clear of Joe Yates before they even reach the start-finish line. And will he jump down? Will he jump up? He's going to run the line he wants to run. As they get down into turn one, further back, Kevin Winker watching this little battle shape up just in front of him between Jay Stinson and Mark Beverly. Beverly on the outside trying to hold the momentum. He can't do it. What a power move that was right there from Jay Stinson. Muscled his way around the outside. Put that down in your notebook later if you need to try something on a restart. That's going to be your go-to move. How about Kevin Winker? We saw him be one of the first guys to experiment the top lane at Rockingham last week. What's he doing here this week? He is ripping the wall already, less than halfway through this race. And so you got the 12 machine of Michael Newman falling back a couple spots. I'm telling you, watch Winker. He's going to go 3 wide here looking for a move. He might make this work. You see the 13 gets back clear, but he gets to the outside of Jay Stinson. Oh, man, he really wanted to get 2 for 1 right there on Mark Beverly. He's going to try it. You got to be careful. There's a little bit of a cushion, especially when you get above this third seam. If you break that cushion, you're going to go into that outside wall. It's not very forgiving here. He is burning up a lot of tire as well the harder he tries to run these guys. And what line does Beverly take here? Keeping an eye on the onboard. If Beverly goes high, Winker, no. Winker will take it. He's got another shot here. Trying to get to that quarter panel of Beverly. He does, but he starts to get loose. Beverly with another run. Will Beverly clear up? He's got it for the moment. Not going to take it. He'll jump to the inside. It's Hegdahl who gets clear a second, and now he'll jump up to the top lane. And Eric Hegdahl taking away just a little bit of air off the nose of that 42 into the corner. All that loss of downforce out of nowheres. That truck doesn't like that. Gets out of shape a little bit. He's got to bail out of the throttle so he doesn't get tight and go up into the wall. And about 32 laps complete. And still the restarts are proven to be the most viable portion of this race. Each one that we get going to become more and more important. It's the 4. Oh my goodness, that was another close right there. Close call right there for one of the Jessies. Jesse Calloway. And now he finds himself on the outside of 3 wide. Brody Benty looking to take advantage as he jumps into that middle line. The 63, another powerful move here that we are seeing from some of these guys throughout the field. The 88 of Herbert. Oh, Keith Prince with some trouble right there. And man, he caught me off guard. He got my tongue in a knot trying to spit it out real quick. That was another close call. I'm not sure if he slipped up, got tight, but he had a big checkup, a huge loss of momentum, and almost lost not just positions, but the truck. He got put in the middle and fell back probably about 4 or 5 spots. And so Brody Bensi picks up another one, still inside the top 15, but it's Thomas Siso just in front of him. Goes by Tom, and so far tonight, he's looking strong in what I believe is his debut here on the season. Got a good-looking paint scheme, the Sonic Graphics design, number 19 machine. Driver out of Indianapolis. Again, right now finds himself in that 12th spot. He's going to be knocking on the door of the top 10 here shortly. Question's going to be how much longer until he gets to the 28 of Dennis Steele. He's looking to get a little bit physical right here as he goes down to the inside of Quentin Woodby. Would be the second man in line to get the win last week. We talked about heartbreak for Kevin Winker, but I think Woodby, fair to say, was in just as equal of a position there by the end of the race. Thought he had it. We got another caution and got caught up in a wreck. The restart after that. 3 wide, Robert Dudley looking to the inside of Mark Beverly. Kevin Winker on the the outside. Dudley was the one on the bottom. And you know, I'm not going to lie, I was a little bit sad when I found out this week initially that we weren't going to New Atlanta. We were coming back to the old Atlanta. Because, you know, when you think about old Atlanta, you think of good racing maybe the first couple laps, but then you think about things getting single file, guys saving tire, and just not that much racing. Boy, have they proven me wrong here tonight. I mean, you could throw just about your top 6 cars still under a blanket, and actually your top 7 all under a second, top 10 all under a second and a half. And so all the dirty air being turbulent is going to make track position harder and harder to gain as the tires wear out, become a little bit more reliant on just pure downforce. But if you got a chance to fight for the lead, you got to take it. That's exactly what David Traylor's doing right here as he shoots to the inside of Joe Yates. And he is going to lead his first lap of the night here at Atlanta. You wonder if he decided to try some strategy. I'm not sure if he did or didn't, but whatever he's got going right now, it is working, and it is working well. As we take a look at the track map here, most of the field still all within about a quarter of a track of each other. We do have 2 stragglers out the back, currently sitting 37th and 38th. Actually, no, I take it back. I think that's 27th and 30th. And looks like that is going to be Sammy Davis and then Dylan Paws. Not to run, these two wanted coming into the start, but they do have a little bit of drafting help off of each other. That'll help at least a little bit here until we can hopefully get to this stage break, if we're able to keep it clean until then. And so as we do go back towards the front, David Traylor still looking good as he continues to lead here at Atlanta. Just behind him, though, they have not given it up. Robert Dudley, he is another driver who's looking for that first win on the season. Seems like he's had some strength at a couple of the different mile and a halves that we've went to so far throughout the season. Rockingham, not quite his thing last week, but back here this week showing a lot of speed. Jonathan Herbert up here as well. And so what this really has me wondering is if there was a little bit more tire strategy than I maybe initially thought during that last stop. I think, again, that the majority of the guys stayed out, but I think what maybe you're seeing here, at least with these front few, is guys who decided to go in, take an extra set now, try to earn themselves some of those stage points. That may end up working out really well here as we're going to be coming to 11 laps to go in the stage this time. And as we do that, we are going to take our first break of the night. We will go side by side so you won't miss a thing. David Traylor trying to hold on for the stage here at Atlanta. Back live at Atlanta Motor Speedway. There's a look at one of the Jessies. In fact, not sure what happened to him here. He left the driver cam for a while, and it's like he is not currently out on track. So the reason we show him here is because I think he had some sort of issue. He's back, but obviously any chance for a race is going to be over. So Jesse Wise, not the break he wanted here, especially in a race that he looked like he was going to have a strong run in. Was running in the top 10 at the start, top 15 at the worst all night. So we'll see if he can get that issue fixed, get back on track. But again, right now, certainly not looking too good. The driver on number 69 thinking as we go back live. Apologize, I meant to say the 69 truck. Been getting these guys mixed up. Had a lot of broadcasts in the last couple days, and not so much the guys themselves getting mixed up. I mean, we can differentiate between the series just based off the racing, and let me tell you, Asphalt Outlaws brings some of the best of the best, but been flipping back and forth so much between truck and Xfinity. And the reason I bring that point up is because I still think the trucks just provide the best racing, whether it's single file, pack racing, just some of the stuff you get to see these NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series do, or I guess I should say, what these guys can do in the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series modeled trucks are just, it's so impressive. I mean, you look at it in general, a track like Atlanta, it's tough enough in itself. You come here in a truck, the aero structure is not even close to the same as what we see on the Xfinity or Next Gens here. But I still think they're the best fit, and here's a look at the 4 machine. Took a look earlier at Jesse Wise, and now we're taking a look at Jesse Calloway. Currently in that 7th spot, or 17th spot rather. Good comeback for him after a little bit of a struggle earlier, but still got some more in the tank here. We'll see if he can deliver. But back up front we go with David Traylor, and he is coming to 2 laps to go in the stage. Actually, no, I think this is the white flag lap. No, I take it back. Sorry, forgot it was 55 for a minute. So he'll be taking 50 this time. That'll actually put him at 60 laps, or 6 laps to go. It's the 31 of Jay Stinson as we go back a couple of spots here. Mark Beverly on the outside, the 11 of Eric Hegdahl, who we saw running at the front earlier. Okay, I think this might be a little bit of a strategy play by these guys being further back. They may have an extra set of tire unless all of a sudden the top 5 found speed that everybody else just lost. I don't think that's quite the case, though. Do want to ask while I had a chance to remember, let me know how everything does sound and look here tonight if you have a chance. Certainly would appreciate it. Appreciate everybody tuning out. And look at the gap that, I mean, these front 4 have started to stretch out. Front 2 mainly, as they're about a second and a half ahead of 3rd place, and then 3rd and 4th are about a second ahead of 4th and 5th, so on and so forth. And a little battle right here between Dennis Steele and Colton Hardy. This is the battle for 6th, 5th now. And it looks like Steele's going to try to take that spot over. He's got the edge on the inside, but can he put the throttle down and keep the momentum down the front stretch? Looks like he was able to. He's going to hang even here. He's got to try a little bit of a slide job maybe here down into turn number 1. Not going to try anything that time. He's just rolling that apron. They used to have the Harvick line here where if you could just wrap the left side tires around that painted white line, the apron, the entire way around this racetrack, you're going to be super fast, but not quite seeing that in the trucks anymore, not with the newer damage models that we see in iRacing. But the drafting that we have seen on the restarts when everybody's been on equal tires has just been absolutely phenomenal. Mark Beverly, Joe Yates, they have still not decided who's going to bring home that 7th spot here for this stage break. And if you want to try any strategy, I think you're going to have to try it here. Coming to this next lap, which will be 53 complete, because that should be coming to 1 or 2 to go on the stage. I'm not sure how these guys have the rules set up for it, if you can pit within 2 to go or not. So, in fact, you may have had to pit that last lap right there, especially if you're not up here in the top 3. So his trailer rolls his way off of turn number 4. There you go. You do see at least one guy in. In fact, I don't know if that was so much scheduled there. That was Tom Siso. I apologize if I'm saying his last name wrong. First time seeing him out here. We'll have it right for sure next week if we don't have it right now. And so trailer will be coming to 1 lap to go in the stage this next time around. Clinton would be trying desperately to still catch up. He'd like to get a stage win, but I just don't know if he's going to have enough. And trailer's on one of those tears where he seems to be staying consistent. And when you stay consistent, the confidence goes up and your chances of getting that first win when you're consistently finishing in the top 3 is a lot higher than it is if you're finishing back in 10th, 15th every race. So David Traylor has been doing an excellent job, and as of right now, looks like it may continue on here tonight if he is able to capture this stage win, set himself up nicely for the rest of this race. And as he goes down the back straightaway, again, last lap of the stage right here. No battling, no lap traffic to worry about. Just hoping these guys can maybe keep it clean here for this next half a lap. Make it a quarter of a lap. He works his way off at turn number 4. showed some dominance here after we got that last caution, got it wrapped up. And David Traylor, your stage 1 winner at Atlanta.
All right, man. Caution is out. Caution is
It's
out.
nicely done right there by David Traylor. We'll get a chance to talk to him here in just a couple minutes. Now, the next interesting thing that this is going to mess with, or strategy it's going to change up, if you will, is going to be, what do we see for fuel mileage when we go back green? It's going to be probably, we're going to go green with probably just over or maybe right around 60 laps of this race complete. So over halfway, so the distance wouldn't be quite as long as what it was going to be scheduled for the first stage. However, I still don't think they'll be able to make it on one stop. But right now, the bottom line is you're coming in here, you're taking 4 tires and fuel. No questions about that. And if you're David Traylor, you're hoping you come back out with the lead and can continue to extend on this gap. Again, he's been doing a phenomenal job all night up to this point. See if he can continue that here. So we'll wait for him to take this pit stop. Again, I do want to get him here in the booth, but taking a look at a couple of the other guys further back. Finishing this stage, it was Clinton Woodby who brings home second, Robert Dudley third, Jonathan Herbert back and forth with Dennis Steele in fifth, Colton Hardy in sixth, Joe Yates seventh, Mark Beverly in eighth, Kevin Winker back in ninth, and Jay Stinson rounding out your top 10. Quick reminder on where we head next here on Ghost Racing Network Monday night. A little bit of charity racing action over for the R&R Racing League. Make sure you check that out at some point if you got a little bit of free time. Again, we appreciate everybody tuning in to watch the Asphalt Outlaws Racing drivers go at it here tonight. The Sonic Graphic Design 175 at Legacy, Atlanta. So you see Traylor bringing it down to the pits. No surprise there. That's a pretty common theme as pit road comes to be a busy place at that one stage break. Your one chance to maybe fix something on the truck if you don't like it. And we'll see here who wins the battle out. Again, you expect it to be David Traylor, but if he got into his box a little bit slower than somebody else slid or just can't get the exit he wants, that could change. Everybody jacks it up, 4 tires and fuel as they leave. Sure enough, Traylor's going to get it. Woodby raced him pretty hard for it, but David Traylor will come out the victor for that pit battle. So now that he is out, fresh tires and fuel, let's see if we can get a quick word with the driver number 54. Hey, David, this is Austin up in the booth. Got a copy?
10-4, got you, Austin.
All right, well, consistent finishes have been the name of your game for the last couple of weeks. Still looking for that first win. But, man, a good start here to Atlanta by getting that stage win. How you feeling so far?
A little bit of an unexpected strategy call there. I don't know what happened with the incident that I got on the back stretch there with that caution, but came in, I was like, well, it's about middle of the stage. I'll go ahead and take tires, and I guess that was kind of a split decision on the field, but I feel good. I think I've got good long run speed. We'll have to see here with everybody on equal set of tires, but feel good. This track heats them up, but I'm finally glad to have gotten some stage points finally.
We're looking at fuel strategy the rest of the way, and we don't have the math calculator up here, but looks like it's going to be relatively close. Do you have a general idea on what you're expecting for that final pit stop?
Not really sure. Like I said, we're gonna kind of what works for me is winging it. So I'd have to just wing it again and hope it works here.
Well, that worst case scenario right now, it's certainly looking like you're going to be able to keep up those string of consistent finishes. Good luck the rest of the way, David. Thanks for talking to us, and we'll see if we're talking to you again at the end of this thing.
Awesome. Thanks, Austin.
Thank you. All right, there you go. David Traylor. Well, he said that, you know what, I'll tell you, he didn't say this directly, but this is basically what just happened. He got a blessing in disguise. Unfortunately, got caught up in that incident there on the back straightaway. Had to come down to the pits, figured since he was in there, he might as well take some tires. The rest of the field was on a split decision, and guess what? It worked out well, so nicely done. And looks like what we got in the chat here, a couple other new people tuning in. Ryan Peterson, good to see you out here. Kevin Reese says, let's go Herbert. Melvin Young says, let's go Clinton Woodby. Wild Will says, let's go Woodby. $50 bounty still active for you. All right, there you go. Not sure what that's all about, but hey, sounds pretty exciting. So we'll have to see. Keep us updated on that, Wild Will. So they just turned over lap 59 when they got the one to go signal. We got a couple trucks that are indeed going to get the wave around. Looks like one of them is Will Rainwell. Can tell who the other was, at least off a first glance. So Will Rainwell, was it? No, I thought it maybe was Evan Schilling. It was not. In fact, it's Tyler Beverly. That's who it is. And so these two getting that wave around. It'll put, I believe, Will Rainwell back on the lead lap. Yep, sure enough, it does. And then for Tyler Beverly, unfortunately, it's not going to put him back on the lead lap. And yeah, he's 24 down. So 45's night looks like it is over. But And there you go. Wild Will says top 3 finish gets Woodby $50. There you go. Hey, $50 tonight. Not too bad of a choice there if you have a chance to get your first win of the season and $50 with it. All you got to do is finish top 3. So we'll keep an eye on that. Wild Will, we appreciate you giving us a little bit of an update with that. Didn't know about that for these guys. And so it's going to be 50. It looks like it's going to be 57, 58 laps to go, actually, to be exact, when they go back green right here. And so we'll see who is going to win it at Atlanta. The Sonic Graphic Design 175. Trailer now back on an even playing field with everybody else. However, he does have clean air, and that's a little bit of an advantage in itself. So we'll see what he can do with it. Here we go, back into the restart zone. Stage is complete. Green flag back in the air at Atlanta. What a jump for the first draw. I mean, look at this. They have pulled away by already almost half a second on row number 2. Woodby, though, what a jump to hang with Trailer, and he is going to get clear into turn 1. Boy, if we had a Reese's sweet move of the race like they do in the ARCA series, I think you got your winner there. I cannot believe Woodby just pulled that off. Not only did he match David Trailer to a crisp on the restart, but he was also able to get clear through turns 1 and 2 and take that position. Nicely done. Mark Beverly further back on the inside here of Colton Hardy. Try to get a side up. We got one in the grass out back, it looked like. Unless they say that you saw the tire tracks there. Is that Will Rainwell? It may have been the 17. After just getting back on the lead lap, I can tell you that's not what he wanted. As actually, or was it Michael Miller? Let's go see here who it was. Thought it was initially Will Rainwell. No, that's going to be Michael Miller. Will Rainwell must have been a separate issue. Yeah, he's nowhere near this. So here you go. The 77 as they come off the turn. You're going to wonder here, is he going to get a little assistance? Oh, yeah, the 63 of Brody Benty just gets a little bit tight coming off the corner here. Does not take much. I'm telling you, when you're running this tight, and go to the TV1 view. After he hits the wall here, he's going to bounce off there. You see the contact for the 63. As he bounces off, he comes down. The 77's there. He's got nowhere to go. Braden Avila trying to miss it, makes slight contact with the back of the 77. He actually kind of ramps up off the grass, but lays down some tire tracks. He's going to go for a full 360. Somehow not hit anything before he spins back into the grass, and then ultimately is able to get it back rolling and keep it straight. And then you wondered here, Will Rainwell, did he see this and maybe think it was going to be a caution? I've certainly tried that strategy before, but thinking maybe not. Thinking he was just committed, but if that wasn't what he wanted to do, that's a tough break, and that certainly is a tough break for Michael Miller as well. So back up front, Clinton Woodby has taken the lead. I'm not sure if he heard us talking about that $50 bounty that we learned we can get here, sponsored by Nirjuana, it looks like. But wow, oh wow, if Clinton Woodby can bring that home, that'd be probably the biggest payout so far this season, at least single race-wise, for a driver. Here's the 52 machine of Roger Strickland. We've not talked about yet tonight, and in fact, I believe I meant to get something straightened up a little bit for Roger here tonight, but wasn't able to quite do it in time. Nonetheless, the point is, you see the speed that he's got. We continue to see it week in and week out. He's been one of those guys that maybe I don't give him as much credit as he should, but he's out here, does a phenomenal job. We'll see what he can make happen here tonight. But as we go back all the way at the front, Clinton Woodby now going to be under fire here from the 87 of Joe Yakes. Yakes on a little bit of that tire-saving strategy. Woodby aggressive from the get-go, and can the 87 find a way to get by right here? Well, he's working that inside line, the back straightaway. Maybe not the place to make the move work, but if he holds it, which he does, into turn 3, this is where that opportunity really opens up. Woodby, though, is not going to give him much to work with. In fact, he's going to pinch it on the door as they went through turns 3 and 4 on exit, though. Looks like that 87 now is going to get, well, he got a truck link out in front and then quickly lost it, wasn't able to get clear. And he's not trying to do a slide job. And I like this approach because Atlanta's a track where you can try that. Again, really bumpy. You got to really let off when we start to get to older tires as you get into the corner. But if you're willing to do it, yeah, you can certainly dive it in on the bottom. If you get clear, try to slide up in front of the guy. However, if you don't, you make some contact. This is a high-speed track to get bumped into the outside wall, so that could leave some guys not too happy. Nice veteran move right there by Joe Yakes to be nice and patient here. And now you see they switched. Woodby trying the crossover. She goes to the inside. Yakes got to that outside, and maybe it feels like it's preferred lane, but Woodby is going to try the exact thing that I was just mentioning, that slide job. And he's going to make it work, but Yakes will have a little bit of drive off here. Does he go down to the apron? He does. Looking to make a move. Is the move a little too big? It is not. He will stay side by side. Does Yakes try the slide job back? He doesn't. Even if he did, he's not going to have enough to get clear off of turn number 4. And so Woodby and Yakes not settling this out, and the longer they go side by side, bigger of a chance they have to pull these two cats up in the mix as well. Mark Beverly, along with David Traylor, Dennis Steele, Robert Dudley, Kevin Winker. I mean, look at this. Now it's probably your top 15, almost top 20 you could all throw under a blanket. There's Braden Avila in the 25 trying to make a recovery after getting involved in that last caution. I believe it was the last caution. Actually, no, it may not have been the last one. He was involved in that one that happened out of the back straightaway, which I believe was the last one. I'm amazed, though, that Woodby is still hanging as strong as he is. I mean, he's been on the bottom, the top. You would think he wore tires out more than Joe Yakes, but he is fighting because he knows that if we can get deep enough into this run where these tires have absolutely no grip left, that clean air means a ton. And it might be just enough to where even if you burned your tires up a little bit more, you can still stay in front. Yakes, on the other hand, he knows how valuable that clean air is. He wants it. He's not going to give up till he gets it. Going to be coming to 70 laps complete this time. We are going to take another quick break. 70 laps complete. Clinton Woodby going for the bounty. We'll see if he can get the job done. We'll be right back in Atlanta. Stick with us. Welcome back to the Sonic Graphic Design 175 at Atlanta Motor Speedway. Yes, sir, it's still Clinton Woodby out in front. Joe Yakes, though, trying everything he can to get there. Just behind him, Mark Beverly. These two have not let each other go. Ooh, did Tyler Beverly have some trouble here on the apron? I think he maybe clipped the grass, as we got one on the wall up there as well. Looks like that might have been Colton Hardy. And they're all able to get it going, get it together. So no caution, but what happened right here to Tyler Beverly? This was, again, coming out of the pits. And, yep, that flat apron will do it. You see that the apron is banked. You got to get up on that. He didn't. Was trying to get the truck up to speed. A lot of horsepower at this track in these trucks, and the back tires just start to spin a little bit. And damage he's got probably didn't help. So he goes around, but able to straighten it out. A little bit of a ride through the grass, but no further contact for Tyler Beverly. Another big question we had right here was David Traylor going to stick strong, or was he going to maybe fade? It looks like he's answered the call as he is stuck strong, still hanging around the podium spot. And I think what he did earlier, he's doing now, but he kept a little more track position. And I think it's working out. Watch out, the 54. I think he has saved these tires. You see him now working to the inside of the 87 of Yakes. If he can get this position pretty quick without having to burn too much off, he may very well have a chance to go up here and fight with your leader before we come to that last green flag pit stop. And he slips up a little bit there. He's got to bail out of it, and he'll lose a position, actually make it 2 as Beverly's going to go by. Here comes Kevin Winker as well on the top. Jay Stinson, what a good run it's been for him. Just about all of tonight. Qualified up in the top 5. Stuck around there just about the entirety of the race. Currently 1 spot out of it in 6th. And so we're hitting 80 laps to go this next lap. And the reason that's important is because I think that fuel window is about open. 40 laps to go. And so it just becomes that question of when do we see that last stop? If I'm the leader, I like the idea of maybe staying out the longest of anybody else so that I can have the freshest tires and go on attack. But if you're somebody back here, maybe you try undercutting it or staying out as long as you can, open for a caution, because you will lose a lap here at Atlanta. And you don't want to get a caution when you've trapped a lap down. That will not end too well. Well, we have a chance, and I guess I should say before we do that, let's go take a run through your field here, see everybody's looking. Randy Gosey back in 35th right now. William George 34th. Those two have retired from the race, as is TJ Allen. This race not the way he wanted to go. Tom has retired as well. So Tyler Beverly, currently the last running truck on the track. He started with 35 down to 31. And he is not on the lead lap. In fact, down by double digits. Jesse Wise in 30th after that issue. He was able to get sorted out, but again, unfortunately for him, has fallen a ton of track spots after that. Dylan Pause 3 laps down in that 29th spot. Not the night he's been wanting. Will Rainwell with a couple issues in the early going. I believe he had to serve that penalty right out of the gate. And so that's kept him a lap down or 2 for most of this race. He sits 28th. John Shilino 27th. Same kind of deal for him. Michael Miller in 26th. Sammy Davis 25th. Andrew Hansley in 24th with Michael Newman in 23rd. Evan Schilling in 22nd. Brody Bensi in that 63. Fell to 21st. What happened here to Brody? Been having a good run. He was up in the top 10 at his high tonight and running in the mid to low teens for most of it. But, man, really struggling here as he's going to potentially fall out of the top 20. Actually, yeah, he has. Lance Thompson. And we're going to have some pit stops here. Hold your horses. Mark Beverly is going to be the first to lead him down. Tyler Beverly brings it in as well. So even though I know that Tyler's not on the same lap, you wonder if this is a little bit of team orders and how is this now going to affect the strategy of the leaders. They're getting info. They know when these guys decide to pit. So now we'll see. Do we see any more pit stops this time out of turn number 4? Looking for it. Doesn't look like anybody's going to decide to bring it down, so everybody will stay out. So Mark Beverly then, there's your answer. He's going to be the man that will try the bold strategy of undercutting, and we'll see if it works out. Here's a look now at Jeremy Tolley, who had one of the greatest comeback stories of the season going last week. Went all the way from a lap down back to the front again in a race that seemed like you were kind of locked in whatever track position you started in, the amount of cautions we had. But Jeremy just showing you in that race and again here tonight that you can never count him out. He starts to find speed as the race goes on. And up front, still no more pit stops just yet. Everybody staying out. 3 laps from now will make us 30 to go. That is well in the fuel window. You only need to take enough fuel to make it the rest of the way. Maybe a little bit extra if you're worried we're going to go into overtimes, but at the same time, that might cost you a little time, so it's kind of that risk versus reward scenario. You got to make a decision on what you want to do. So as Kevin Winker now is going to draw side by side here with the 11 of Eric Hegdahl, who actually takes a peek to the inside. Hegdahl with a good looking scheme. He's got the 4 Wide Racing Network. One of the I believe that's a broadcaster channel on YouTube. You should go check him out. Hegdahl got the win at Daytona, looking to see if he can get a second one here tonight at Atlanta. But so while we have the opportunity here, I want to talk real quick, and then we'll take a look at the schedule after. But first thing that we need to go over is kind of what points are looking like after last week at Rockingham, because you knew it was going to shake some things up, especially with all the crazy chaos that we had going on. So without further ado, the man that's currently leading in points at the moment, Keith Prince. Again, another one. We talked about David Traylor being Mr. Consistent, but Keith Prince has put himself right in that mix as well. Kevin Winker second, and then there he is. David Traylor got a podium the last 2 weeks and currently rounding out the podium in points, sits in 3rd. Mark Beverly with that win gets a green, locks himself in, and he sits in that 4th spot. Jesse Wise back in 5th. Ray Navila 6th. Jesse Calloway 7th. Robert Dudley 8th. Eric Hegdahl 9th. Dennis Steele currently rounding out the top 10 in points. Everybody else still fighting hard for him, and you got plenty of ways to go in the season, so it's not time to really start stressing too much. You don't need to force a win, and we'll hold off on the schedule for a minute as we got some more pit stops, and got a couple of them here, a few rather. Looks like the 5 brings it in. Isaac Smallwood, David Traylor, Joe Yakes. So these were 3 of your better running trucks here during this last stint that were towards the front of the field. And so they're all expecting to have really good clean stops here. They're going to need it. They want to come back out towards the front of the field. And it looks like Clinton Woodby, by still staying out, I think this is the right call here for Woodby. He was able to force the hand, make those guys pit before him, and I think as a result, when he does pit and comes back out, he'll have a lot fresher tires. Hopefully a chance to maybe go up here and win this race. Here's Lance Thompson peeling out of the pits, followed by Joe Yakes, David Traylor, the 5 Isaac Smallwood, Keith Prince in that mix as well. And here we go. Now we're going to see some of your leaders. Roger Strickland, Jesse Calloway, Eric Hegdahl, Clinton Woodby. There's the 92 machine of Woodby. So pull into his pits. Looks nice and clean. We didn't see his entry, but you got to assume it's okay. And Atlanta, not the easiest pit road either in itself, so it's good to see that everybody has been pretty clean up to this point. Lance Thompson did have a little bit of an issue. We'll go take a look at that here in just a second. First thing I want to see, though, is how Clinton Woodby gets out of the pits. Compare that to a couple of these other guys. Kevin Winker, as you see, goes flying by there. I'm not sure if he already made that pit stop. We're going to find out right here by taking a look at lap times 32.6. Go down to compare that to the nearest guy who has already pit, Mark Beverly. And yeah, no. So Kevin Winker is definitely not pit. Those lap times way off. Joe Yakes is going to be, this will be his first lap up to speed. Problem is he's got a lot of traffic. In fact, the way these cycles worked out is a little interesting. Everybody got caught in quite a bit of traffic, so now the spread is just about around the entirety of the track. Let's go see what happened here to Lance Thompson, though, on his pit stop. As you see, he is not facing the right way. Oh, he's just going to get in way too hot. You were worried about seeing it at some point, and there you go. The 21, yeah, just gets in there way too hot. Trying to check up, back end steps out. He goes for a spin, comes to a stop. The front end just coming up short of that inside concrete barrier. Gets it back around in the right direction and was able to complete the pit stop. So we stay green. So Kevin Winker staying out. You wonder, what does he have up his sleeve here? We know he can't make it the rest of the way, and we also know that he's still got to, well, we know he's still got to pit. Obviously, he can't make the rest of the way, but, I mean, even at this point, he's just losing time, and, I mean, maybe hoping for a caution, but, I don't know, things have gotten pretty spread out, and it doesn't really have that feel like we're going to see one anytime soon. I still think if I'm Winker here, I'm considering bringing it down pretty soon, but he is going to try the long-run strategy here. He'll have the freshest tires of anybody the rest of the way, at least they're your leaders, but it's just the time loss is just so extreme here. We'll take a look now at 2 of the fastest guys, or, well, the fastest and maybe, on the other hand, the slowest guy on the track right now, strictly due to tires. 32.7 that time for Kevin Winker. You'll compare that. We'll go with Clinton Woodby, who's a leader, and there you go. I mean, 30.7. Oh, my goodness. 2 seconds faster than your leader, Kevin Winker, that last lap. Ladies and gentlemen, I wish there was a visual way to demonstrate this. That is a huge margin of gap that's closing up each lap that Winker stays out. In fact, if you did some math here right now with Woodby sitting a lap down, if he gets that lap back, it would only take him 15 laps to get up there, and that'd be if Winker was able to go the rest of the way. So he'd still catch him, but we know Winker's not going to be able to. He's going to have to pit again. I think at this point, just staying out, hoping for that caution. And if he gets it, he would probably take the lead via track position, but as there goes Clinton Woodby to get that lap back. So now that Winker has lost that to the leader, or what was the leader coming into pit stops, we'll see if that draws him in here in the next couple laps. He's still staying out. Again, I'm assuming these guys can maybe go somewhere in the 40s on a full tank in terms of how many laps of fuel they can run, but we're getting pretty close to that margin here, so you got to think that Kevin Winker would be thinking about pitting pretty soon, but Mark Beverly and Michael Newman, 4th and 5th at the moment. Michael's up 4 from where he started. Beverly is up 10. And I believe that Michael Newman may still have to pit as well. In fact, looking at, yeah, I think he does, unless he tried some strategy, but again, just doesn't look like it's going to be the right one if he did. So I think he's still going to bring it down to the pitch for a set of stickers. Fill it up with fuel one more time. How about 23 laps to go here at Atlanta? So while we got a chance here, while everything's still pretty calm, the calm before the storm, if you will, let's take a look at what the schedule's looking like the rest of the way for the Asphalt Outlaws Racing Season 5 Truck Series. And there you go. We already hit Daytona, Homestead, Pocono, Rockingham tonight, Atlanta. And so next week, it's the next wild card. First road course we're going to head to of the season. That's right, Watkins Glen International. Going to be an interesting one. That's where you usually pick out a couple of your road course ringers. You get a surprise winner and maybe a first-time winner. We'll see if we get that next week. And then after Watkins Glen, we head over to Miles the Monster, Dover Motor Speedway before Auto Club and Darlington are up next. Darlington will kick off March, by the way. And then back to Talladega Super Speedway the second week of March, followed by Kentucky Legacy Mid-Ohio, the second road course of the regular season. In fact, I think that's going to be the last road course in general. And it looks like it is. Phoenix Raceway up to kick off April. And it looks like we're going to head to Indianapolis, Texas, Iowa, and then Daytona International Speedway. Legacy version round out the regular season. Las Vegas, Richmond, Michigan, the round of 16. Charlotte, Bristol, and Talladega. Man, those are some bangers of tracks that they just put down. I love that schedule for the playoffs, especially for the round of 10. I love Charlotte, I love Bristol, and I love Talladega. I'm sure the driver's feeling more of the same. And then Kansas is going to be your championship finale. So as we go back live on track, it's now 21 laps to go for Kevin Winker. Currently leads, but again, we're not expecting this to stay like this the rest of the way. In fact, Dennis Steele, Michael Newman, again, same position. Jonathan Herbert, I believe, still has to pit as well. Mark Beverly's the first guy that you got to keep your eye on. He brought it down the earliest of anybody. Joe Yates, the second earliest. But I think Yates should be able to get by Beverly without too much of an issue, as these tires are going to be a little bit offset strategy-wise. Beverly's tires a little bit older. So while the undercut worked in the short run, Joe Yates with those fresher tires should work in the wrong one. And Yates right here is saying, come on, somebody go by. I need to get through. He was thinking about 3 wide. I think he thought I'd rather not if I don't have to. So finally, Michael Miller is going to squeeze by. He's able to slide up in front of Mark Beverly. So now that'll give Yates the opportunity to take the door that was opened on the inside and didn't have to worry about trying to use the 77 as a pick. So he'll get clear. And now he's going to set his sights up as Kevin Winker brings that 42 machine down to the pits. You knew it was just a matter of time. So with 19 laps to go, the 42 is pit. And now we just await that final stop from the 28 and the 12. And so you're looking back, and you're saying to yourself, where is Clinton Woodby? And does he have enough time? It's 18 laps to go as your leader just crossed the line. And the gap right now, it's a decent amount between Joe Yates. Never mind, I take it back. They closed it up a lot more from since we last checked. In fact, they're in the same pair of corners. So Clinton Woodby's definitely going to get there. He's just got to maneuver some of this traffic. Then when he does get there, it's a little bit of a question of what does he do with it. So Woodby right now still stuck in the middle here. You got Trailer in the middle, Isaac Smallwood up top, Braden Avila on the bottom. Nowhere to go. I think, again, he knows with what happened last week that he'd rather not go 3 wide if he doesn't have to. As here's Dennis Steele bringing the 28 truck down to the pits. He will take 4 tires and fuel, run it out for the next 17 laps. Again, everybody that's staying out, and now Michael Newman, of course, the only man left, just was really open for a caution. You know, they were going to need it to try to... It's a gamble, and sometimes it works out, sometimes it doesn't. Unfortunate that it didn't work out here tonight for Michael, but got to give him some kudos for giving it a shot nonetheless. And Joe Yates, boy, he's got to start to feel the pressure here. David Trailer starting to close. But, I mean, this is going to be the battle for the win right here. Is Trailer, Isaac Smallwood, Mark Beverly, and Clinton Woodby. And now, theoretically, Woodby should have the freshest tires of them all. But if he gets trapped in this dirty air too long, then it may not matter. He may not have enough time or track position to get back up there in these next 16 laps. So I think that means that the desperation has to start setting in here if you're Clinton Woodby. You're not playing as nice with these guys saying, I got to go. If you guys want to go 3 wide, I might have to try to get a little physical, push one of you through, do something. And he is going to get clear. What a move right there from Clinton Woodby. Went against my probably arrogant way of being impatient. He stayed patient, and it paid off. So that was a nice job right there from Woodby to pick up another spot. That puts him now up to 5th. And only 3 guys rather, he's still got to get past as Michael Newman is finally going to bring it to the pits. So last pit stop of the night is going to be credited to that 12 truck. Michael Newman's going to take 4 in fuel. He'll bring it back out with, it's going to be 15 laps to go. So Joe Yates takes over. He gets a little bit of clean air here. Does have some lap traffic that he'll have to contend with. But now take a look at your scoring tower on the left. Look at the gaps. 0.75 seconds from first to second. A second between Yates and Smallwood, and a second and 2/10 between Yates and Woodby. I think that's going to be your main battle for the win. You can't count out Eric Hegdahl just yet. Mark Beverly, I just don't think he's going to have enough now. I think he brought it in a little bit too early. As you see him fading here in a little bit of a hurry from that second pack. He's going to lose a spot to Braden Avila as well. Michael Newman making it back out on the track. So Yates gets by Will Rainwell with no issues. That's another one of the lap trucks. Rainwell is just going to pull out of the way, wants no part of any of it. Jonathan Herbert. And so if you're Yates here, I guess the good news is you got a little bit of traffic separating. Ooh, my goodness. Joe Yates with a little bit of a block right there on one of the lappers. I think maybe he was hoping that he could just run that arc. The 88 wasn't going to catch that quick, but he got there. And man, I thought Yates was getting ready to get turned around. That would have been drama here late in the going, but he doesn't. 88 cuts him some slack. Jonathan Herbert's able to go by cleanly, but Trailer is tracking him down. Well, maybe not. It's still sitting at about 0.8 of a second. It was about 7 last time we checked, so Isaac Smallwood here, he's going to try to make a move on David Trailer. These guys battling. This will help Joe Yates out. The more they battle, the better his chance is going to be of getting up there. Or, excuse me, the worse his chances are going to be of getting up there. Eric Hegdahl back and forth. Clinton Woodby still in 5th, and I just think he's run out of time. I think, unfortunately, I like the call. I really did think it was the right strategy, but I guess Clean Air maybe looking like it's going to be just a little bit more important here tonight, as those fresh tires have still not been able to get him around some of the not lap traffic, but the lead lap traffic that he's battling with here in that battle for 5th all the way up to 2nd. Back to almost 0.9 of a second now between Joe Yates and David Trailer, and Yates is just trying to stretch it out. Meanwhile, back here, Trailer is hoping he can just get some breathing room. I mean, he has got Isaac Smallwood all over his back bumper. And just as I say that, Smallwood I thought slipped, but that's just the line he wanted. Isaac gets a run. He's going to take a look to the inside. Does this 5 truck? If he's got enough speed to get around Trailer, you wonder, does he have enough to go battle at the front? And if you're David Trailer, do you let him go? I think he did right there. That was a very veteran move. If he doesn't cross him over, then yeah, that means he must have let him go. So I think, well, never mind. Trailer's got something else to say about it as he jumps to the inside, but he's not going to battle him too hard here, I don't think. If Isaac can get clear here, that is. And if you're David Trailer and Isaac does get clear, you jump behind him here, stick in the draft, and see if that 5 truck has anything to go up here and catch your leader. Now, Joe Yates still running the relatively conservative line as he goes around the bottom of this 1.5-mile abrasive racetrack. The difference between him and Isaac Smallwood is ripping that top lane. A little bit more risky. It's going to burn some tire, but now's the time to use him. So if you're going to run the top, I think it's a good choice. And he's already closed it up by about 1/10 here, just in that last half a lap. And so you figure 9 laps to go. He's going to have to close it by just a little bit less than 1/10 each lap here. And oh my goodness, he is right on the razor's edge right now. Oh my goodness, you saw him actually just barely kiss the outside wall there, coming off at turn number 2. I mean, he is pushing this thing for all he's got left. And he knows he's got to, and Joe Yates, on the other hand, doesn't have to because he's got Clean Air, a little bit more downforce. It's working out really well. The only thing for Joe Yates is some of this lap traffic ahead. Will he catch them? And when he does, what does the timing look like? Where do they go? Does it affect him? Now all of a sudden, it's Isaac Smallwood maybe starting to fade here just a little bit. That top line's got really good short run speed, but the longer you're up there, the more the tires wear out. The more those tires wear out, slower you're going to start to go as David Trailer settles back into 3rd, looking to cap off another podium tonight if he can hold on. Eric Hegdahl back here in 4th. And there's Clinton Woodby still in 5th. Another race where it comes down to just one little thing that prevents him from maybe going to victory lane. Last week it was a late race caution. This race, it was the final green flag pit stop. And again, if we got that late race caution, this would make things interesting because honestly, I'd say in a short run sense, your top 5 right now all have winning trucks. I mean, there's not that big of a difference. They've all been insanely fast here tonight. As Woodby's going to take another peek here to the top side of Hegdahl. Nothing doing there, but up front, that gap closed up just a little bit more that last time. You see he's got it under 0.6 of a second. Did Isaac change the line a little bit? Yeah, it looks like he did. He moved down to the middle. And he's still getting Clean Air, but he's not having to run the risk of being right up there by the wall. Now, we showed what track temp was and the weather at the beginning of this race. Track temp, it looks like, is actually maybe heated up a little bit from where we first started. No, looks like it's actually about the same. And so with that, Still a lot of grip to get out of these trucks. He's got it down to 0.4 of a second. This is not over just yet, ladies and gentlemen. This could come down all the way to the last lap. And Trailer's going to try to get up there as well because he knows that if either of these two slip up, it's his time to pounce. And here goes Woodby around the top. Does he have anything left? Did he save enough tire to maybe go try to make a move in these last 4.5 laps? As he goes into turn 3, we're going to keep an eye on that. Maybe Woodby did have some strategy up his sleeve, but right now, Joe Yates, you got to think he's starting to sweat because Woodby is closing it up. And now, the thing for Woodby is he is going to pull some draft down the straightaways. The closer he gets, the more draft he's going to pull off the back bumper of Joe Yates, who again is still looking for that first win of the season. Isaac Smallwood has already got himself 2. Casually went back-to-back a couple weeks ago. Didn't quite make it 3 in a row, but certainly could make it the 3rd win overall in the season, as they're both going to go by the 63 right there of Brody Benty. Yates all the way to the bottom. Isaac Smallwood's going to take the top again, under 0.2 of a second now, but I think he slipped up a little bit in the corner right there. 69's going to go by. We'll see if this hurts the 5 machine at all. I don't think it is. The 69 should get well and clear here into the turn. He's got fresh tires this time. Isaac Smallwood, though, does have to go up all the way to that 3rd lane on the racetrack. Still on the outside of the 69. Isaac's right now is saying, man, either go by me or get behind me. You can't keep doing this side by side. It looks like 69 will give way and tucks him behind him. And they're going to be coming to 2 laps to go this time. This last lap for a caution. Oh, Joe Yates, that was not the exit he wanted. He got trapped behind Michael Miller on the inside. And now that has allowed Isaac Smallwood to get to the bumper. Now it is a cat and mouse game. What does Isaac Smallwood have left in the tank? Can he make a move, or can Joe Yates hold on? It's going to be 1.5 laps to go. This is the classic battling that you see at a track like Legacy Atlanta. It comes down to slipping and sliding. Smallwood's going to try to top again. Yates on the bottom. And that's the shorter way around the racetrack versus the higher way around, but momentum on the straightaway. And Smallwood needs one more boost of momentum here because it's the white flag. 1 lap to go and 0.1 of a second separating first and second. Smallwood going to continue to drive it in here and just hope that that clean air is enough to make that truck stick up top, ripping the wall around turns 1 and 2. He's going to have a run down the backstretch. Final time does Joe Yates out the block. Smallwood's going to make the dive to the inside. He's got a run as he looks into turn number 3. Yates on the outside, not the preferred place. Smallwood's going to send it in with a slide job. He gets up the track. Does Joe Yates have enough to cross him over? He's going to look one more time to the inside. Oh, they're going to wreck. They all wreck coming to the line. They got involved with a lapper. Joe Yates is going to win it. Oh, my goodness. Isaac Smallwood cannot believe what just happened. Joe Yates in the same boat as well, but he wins it. Oh my goodness, man, we were getting ready to see a photo finish at the line. We still got one, but not quite the way we initially thought we were going to see it. Yikes, I think that was a 69 of Jesse Wise. Got involved in that. Let's go back and take a look here. You know, it's one of those things here. It's just kind of a preference thing. And, you know, I've seen leaks before. Guys, you know, when you get to that last lap, if you're a lapper, you're getting completely out of the way. It's not changing your race at all. And, you know, in this case, Jesse was behind, and he's going to get a run here. Let's see what happens. Yeah, so he gets a run, and he goes to take it to the inside. He's clean there. I mean, he doesn't do anything wrong. It's just the fact that by going there, it's going to end up putting him 3 wide. Yates maybe not expecting that. And so we're going to go ahead and get a better shot of this here. First thing we're going to do is look at the chopper view. Back this all the way up to where this starts. I mean, Smallwood, you got to give him hats off anyway. I mean, what a job he did here to get up there. And then look at the move he sets up on Yates here off of 2. He gets the run, times it perfectly. Yates, not too aggressive, doesn't block him, says, okay, I'll go ahead and try the outside here. Smallwood with the slide job. Yates saw that coming too. Yeah, you saw him pack the middle of the corner off right there so he could get a good exit. Does just that, but then there's Jesse getting there, and Yates, again, you know what? I'm gonna back. I don't think Jesse did anything wrong. Well, I know he didn't do anything wrong there, and I don't even think you can really be upset at him because he's running low here. He's trying to stay out of the way. There's still a lane there, and I think that, you know, unfortunately for Joe Yates, he was maybe not expecting the lapper to be there, or I'm not sure if he thought he could get behind, or, you know, he's got to dive low. It's his only shot here. He's got to cut the track. And I don't know if he was going to initially get there. It certainly looked like Isaac Smallwood had enough, but then when he gets turned, Callaway turns up into Isaac Smallwood, and I thought Isaac was maybe still going to hold on to this thing. You see him get propped up in the air. There's Jakes going for a slide, and I mean, look how close this still was at the line. We'll go to a different angle of this, see if we can get a good shot of the finish. There you go. You see Smallwood here. It's probably about a truck length when it's all said and done, so unfortunate break for Smallwood, but Yakes still able to get the job done. And a finish that I would never have seen coming. If you want a natural reaction, boy, that's what you got from me there. I did not expect that. Phenomenal stuff here as we take another full speed look here. Trying to get a better angle of that off of two. I don't know why all the camera angles are situated backward for this. We'll try it this way. Yeah, man, just slight contact. Doesn't take much. And, you know, I'm sure that Jesse feels a little bit bad right now. But, again, nothing that he really did wrong at the end of the day. Certainly wasn't intended on that to happen. And, you know, if we had another lap, David Traylor would have been the perfect seat. It's below the apron here. But, again, you can do that at Atlanta. And what a close finish this was still. I'd call it actually probably about half a truck length when it was all said and done. But a tough break at the end of the day there for Isaac Smallwood. Doesn't quite get the job done after that as a result. So as we take a look at your finishing results here on the night, Joe Yakes is declared as your unofficial winner. Isaac Smallwood second, David Traylor in third, Clinton Woodby fourth, Eric Hegdahl fifth, Jay Stinson in sixth, Jay Stinson sixth, Braden Avila in seventh. Back in eighth is Jesse Callaway, Mark Beverly in ninth. Running out your top 10 is going to be Nicholas Lawrence. And I apologize if I mixed up the Jesse earlier last name-wise. That was Jesse Wise that was involved in that last incident. Not sure if I did or not. Just want to clear any of that up. So as we move on, back just after where Jesse Callaway finishes, it was Mark Beverly 9th, Nicholas Lawrence rounding out your top 10. Keith Prince 11th with Roger Strickland in 12th. Kevin Winker back in 13th. Robert Dudley 14th. Jeremy Tolley in 15th. Haas Beverly back in 16th with Michael Newman in 17th. It's going to be John Chelino running out your top 18. 19th is going to finish with Jonathan Herbert. Evan Schilling rounding out your top 20. Andrew Hansley 21st. Dennis Steele 22nd. Michael Miller 23rd. Brody Benty finishes 24th. Lance Thompson 25th. Sammy Davis 26th. Colton Hardy 27th. Will Rainwell in 28th. Moving on back to 29th. It's going to be Dylan Paz with Jesse Wise after being involved in that last lap incident. There's a lapper rounding out your top 30. Tyler Beverly finishes 31st. Thomas Siso finishes in 32nd. William George finishes 33rd. TJ Lane 34th. And Randy Gosey rounds out your top 35 here on the night. All right, we are going to go get your top 3 in here for interviews. Stick with us. We'll be right back at Atlanta. All right, back live at Atlanta Motor Speedway. We're going to start first tonight with your third place finisher. And I think this is the third week in a row we've been saying that. David, this is Austin the Booth. Got a copy.
10-4, got you, Austin.
Well, you keep racking up the podiums, man. The win. It's got to be here in the next couple weeks. You were so close here tonight. And, I mean, after that strategy play, I thought you had it, but you come up just a couple spots short. Was there anything you wish you would have done different on that green flag stop?
I'm not very good at getting into the box. I'm scared to death of overshooting it, so I kind of baby it getting through. I think if I could have stayed a little closer to Joe, maybe I'd have had something for him. I don't know. I mean, the 5 there on the last run, the 5 was faster than me. I'm not afraid to admit it. I did what I could. I tried to be nice to the tires. The whole race, there towards the end of the run, the truck get a little loose, and for some reason on the last run, it got super tight. So I couldn't get the right rear to fire, but you know, it's kind of the story of the season so far. You know, always the bridesmaid, never the bride, and it happened again this week.
Well, you know, points obviously always come down to at the end of the season, but if you get that win, man, you get yourself locked in. Does that change the mindset when we head into a track like Watkins Glen? Do you feel like you have a pretty good shot there?
I've done a little bit of road racing. We did some practice for the 24 Hours of Daytona, so we'll see how the truck handles compared to a BMW hybrid on a road course. But I don't know. Haven't done a road course in a stock car in a while, so hopefully I can pull something out that a lot of guys can't, and who knows? Maybe I can finally sneak a win here.
We'll have to see. Well, before we let you head out tonight, is there anyone you want to thank or shout out?
Yeah. Thanks to my teammates. I apologize to Evan. They're on that caution. I got into the back of him trying to avoid him. Keith, he had a pretty decent run, I think. And Brody, he finally starting to put some good runs together here. Thanks to the Beverleys, they put this league on. It's super fun. Obviously, thank you to you. Amazing broadcasts every week. I love going back and watching them. Shout out to Isaac and Joe. Both of them, outran me on the last run. They both ran a great race. I hate that they kind of wrecked coming to the finish, but congrats to both of them. And then shout out to my dad watching at home and my fiance out in the living room. She lets me come here and do this.
Well, thank you for talking to us. Congrats again on the third place finish, and hopefully we'll see you out here next week at the Glen.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Austin.
All right, now that's going to bring us to your second place finisher, the man who did not get the good end of the stick on this one, and that is Isaac Smallwood. Isaac, this is Austin the Boots. Got a copy?
Yes, sir.
Well, man, you were probably about 100 yards away from the third win of the season. Next thing you know, you're going dead right into the outside wall. Break us down. What happened right there coming to the start-finish line?
Yeah, earlier in the race, the 69 car, he got a little aggravated at me, and I don't know, man. I don't know what his deal was. He had fresh tires there at the end, and then he pulled up beside me with like 5 or 6 to go, and he ran there, and I caught the 87. And when it came down to it, I just feel like that was intentionally done. He knew how I was going to win that race. That's the only thing I can say, really. I was flying that last run there, and I was going to bring her home.
Certainly looked that way. We did see some contact at the end, but overall, I mean, you're still able to salvage a second. Not a bad night at all, especially when you got 2 wins on the season. Next week, it's a wild card one, Watkins Glen. How do you feel about your chances there?
I'm feeling pretty confident there. I had a group of buddies. We actually won the 24-hour at Daytona, so feeling pretty confident there that we're gonna visit you in Virtua Lane.
Well, second driver we've had, refer to that. I got to tell you guys something. These things don't have as much downforce as the prototypes and GTs, but hey, we'll see if next week you can maybe get that third one on the season. Thanks for talking to us. Before we let you go, though, is there anyone you want to thank or shout out?
Yeah, I'd like to thank my teammates, Braden and Eric. They really helped out and kept me positive, and we've just been there for each other, and Mark and them for putting this league on, you broadcasting, you've done a really good job, and I think that's about it.
All right. Well, again, thanks for talking to us. Congrats on second. Sorry it didn't work out, but we'll see you next week at Watkins Glen.
Hey, 29th to second, we ain't going to argue.
There you go. Well, hey, good attitude about it. Now, the man who got the good end receiving there, Joe Yakes. He is tonight's winner, first win of the season. And in fact, if I can bring him up here. Hey, Joe, this is Austin the Boots. Got a copy?
Yes, I do. How you doing?
Good. Well, first win of the season. Not sure if that's exactly how you expected it to come, but you get it nonetheless. You squeak it out there at the line by under a tenth of a second. We got the other side of the story. Break us down to what exactly happened there coming to the start-finish line from your view.
I figured this was going to be the opening question, and I have looked at the wreck. I've analyzed. I've talked to my stream a few times, so I'm going to repeat everything I just said on my stream right to you guys here. So we're going through turns 3 and 4. And I should note, I am running on a single monitor screen, so my field of view is limited as it is. So I see Isaac get around me. I'm following him through the corner a little bit low, and I can tell I'm getting this run off of turn 4. And I knew with that run, all I had to do was beat him to the line. Now, I had no idea that Jesse was even there at this point because I'm driving, which is absolute tunnel vision right now. I'm focused on the 5 car, the line, and the wheel in my hands. And we come off that corner, and I just pinched it left to go straight line all the way to the start-finish line. And suddenly there's a car sideways in front of me, and I'm like, I don't know what about this.
Well, you know what happens at the end of the day. Of course, Isaac, not mad at you or anything, but hey, it was a good finish. And to get your first win of the season, you got to feel like that takes some of the weight off your shoulders. How does that kind of change the mindset the rest of the season now?
Well, it has been a rough start to the season. We had a good run at Pocono. And just been kind of caught up in the calamity of these first couple of races. So just seeing a race like this go green, I still got a few things I got to work on, but it definitely gives you that solid mindset that I'm able to lock myself into these playoffs here to go race for my 3rd championship with these guys.
Yeah, you certainly were. Well, before we let you head out to go celebrate your first win on the season, is there anyone you want to thank shout out?
Yeah, first off, I just want to thank my teammates at Loose Lug Nuts and my sponsor, Progeny Esports and Go Locker Racing, and of course my viewers on Twitch, twitch.tv/X87. These guys are awesome. They come out here support me every week, and I'm so grateful to be able to race here in the Asphalt Outlaws. They got a really great league here, and I'm looking forward to racing again next week.
All right, and we look forward to seeing you. Thank you for talking to us. Congrats again on the win, and we'll see you at the Glen.
Thank you. Sounds good.
All right, that is just about going to wrap up coverage here on the night. But overall, great race tonight, especially from the product that we got last week. These guys, you could tell, really cleaned it up. There was a lot more respect overall. I know the finish was maybe not what some people expected, but boy, an exciting one nonetheless. Joe Yates captures his first win. Isaac Smallwood comes up just short of adding on win number 3, and David Traylor continues the podium consistency with his 3rd in a row. So we'll be back next week, same time at Watkins Glen here live on Ghost Racing Network. First road course of the season. Going to be just as wild as what we saw here tonight at Atlanta. That'll do it. Thank you all so much for coming out. As always, I hope you enjoyed. That'll do it for me, Austin Green, here on Ghost Racing Network. And until next time.